Good morning and namaskar to all my YouTube listeners and viewers. Last time we discussed about leadership quality, and today we will be talking about teamwork skills. What will happen if you will move forward to achieve a goal alone? I am not saying you cannot achieve it. You may be able to achieve it, but while going forward, you need to have help of others also. And that is what the teamwork means. When you are working in a team, then definitely you achieve your goal effectively and efficiently. Before we go forward, we need to understand three terms. One is crowd, one is group, and one is team. What is crowd? Crowd is basically a mix of heterogeneous people who have got different goals, different thinkings, coming from different background. Like suppose there is accident on the road. There are so many persons, they will stay over there, they will look at the victim, but they are not forming a group. It is a crowd. What is group? Group is when two or more persons who are sharing common thought process are staying together, like a group of doctors, group of nurses, group of paramedics, group of lawyers, group of some corporate sectors, managers, business person, but their goals will be different. All of them may be of same group, same thinking, but they will be having individual goal. What is team? When two or more persons, they are together with a common goal. Whatever they are thinking, it is towards a common goal, and they have got interdependence for achieving that goal. This is a team. There is an old story of rabbit and tortoise. All of you know that. There was a race between rabbit and tortoise. Rabbit slept in between. Tortoise kept on walking slowly and won the race. The message went like, slow and steady wins the race. Later on, rabbit went to tortoise and told, this is the extension of the story I am telling. So rabbit went to tortoise and told, let's have a race again. Somehow he could convince tortoise. Both of them ran together, and this time rabbit did not do any mistake, and rabbit won the race. Naturally, it was natural. Now it was the turn of tortoise again. He thought, why I should lose my race? He went to rabbit. Look here, can we have race again? But I will decide the path, and then we will start our race. Rabbit was overconfident. He easily accepted, okay, no problems. Now what happened? This tortoise selected a path which was having a river before the goal, and they both started race together. As far as the portion of land was concerned, rabbit reached up to the bank of river, but there he was stuck up. Now tortoise slowly came in, crossed the river and reached to the goal. What is the message? I will tell you later. Now because they have met together for three times, they became good friends, and then they decided together, let's have race in which we will complement each other and give a message to society. They again had fourth race, and on land portion, tortoise sat on the back of rabbit, and as soon as the river came, rabbit sat on the back of tortoise, and they both achieved the goal across the river. You must have understood through this story what message I want to give. Message is all of us are unique. All of us have got some qualities. All of us are interdependent. If we will move forward alone, we may be stuck up somewhere. But if we are forming a good team, complementing each other, working in a team manner, then we will effectively and efficiently achieve our goal. Team, you can take it as an acronym. Acronym is TEAM. Together, each achieves more. That means if you are working in a team of 5 persons, then all the persons who achieve their ultimate goal is more as what they could have achieved alone. So always remember, my dear friends, you have to achieve more if you need to work in a team. Now let us come, what are those teamwork skills? You have to be very careful about your communication. See, communication has got 3 components. One is verbal, one is paraverbal, and one is non-verbal. Verbal means whatever you are speaking with. You have to choose your words very carefully. If you wish to communicate the things to a person or to a team member or even to your boss or your family member, you have to choose very correct words. Should not be wrong in choosing words. That is the verbal part. Then comes paraverbal. That means how you pronounce those words. For an example, suppose I am speaking in a room and somebody comes in and peeps in through. I will say, hey, get out from there. I have just asked him to be out from this room. That was my tone. Now suppose another example, somebody peeps in through. I'll see to that fellow and say, see, I am doing recording right now. Please wait for some time. Then we will talk together. Both the things are same. But the method through which I conveyed was different. The person will perceive or perceive it differently. In previous one, the team member may feel awkward, may even leave you. In the another one, the person will understand that why you are saying no. Then comes non-verbal. Whenever you are communicating to any person, it is almost 60 to 70% that it is a non-verbal communication. Your body language, how you move, how you frown. Suppose I am frowning and saying something. I am saying some good thing in a frowning manner. It is not going to affect. So whatever I am saying, it should reflect on my body language. That is very important. That is non-verbal. Then the next virtue while you are working in a team is sense of responsibility. Every team member, when the person has been allocated a responsibility, the person should have a sense of responsibility. I will give you an example of an academic conference. Suppose one conference has to be organized by a team. This could be a function, this could be a marriage, this could be a convocation. So you need to prepare a list of invitees. You need to have an invitation card, printing. You need to have provision of dining, of mic, dais, podium, hall arrangement, of transport, of staying, of some cultural program if you are organizing. So all of those things you will choose the person, and the persons, they will be allocated their responsibility. Now it is the duty of every team member that they should understand their roles and responsibility and should act accordingly. That is very important. Honesty is very important. Honesty here I mean in teamwork is whatever work you are doing, you are true to it. You are doing it honestly. You are not deceiving anybody or yourself. If suppose you have been given a one responsibility and you are not capable of doing it, you just say, I cannot do it. You give me some another responsibility. Or suppose you have been given that responsibility and you are not able to perform properly, then you should come back to the team leader or your team members and say, yes, I am having this problem and please help me out. You should not hesitate. You should be honest to yourself. You should not pretend that you know each and everything. So that is what is honesty in a teamwork. You have to have active listening. Listening means suppose the person is saying something to you, you should give heed to it. It's not that whatever you have thought it is final. Sometimes other persons may be having some better ideas. And if you will listen them and you will do accordingly, your work will be efficiently done. Empathy is another quality. What is empathy? Empathy means suppose I am working for a proper or for a particular work and I am not able to do it. Other persons, they start disgusting me. How should I feel? See, one person suppose is doing wrong, I should keep myself in that position and think what would I want from others. Then that is empathy. You will be able to feel what other person is feeling. You will sit together, solve the problem in a very sympathetic manner as if it is your problem, and then you will come out with a solution and you will move forward in a collaborative manner. Then there should be high interdependence. Means, as I told you, now see, look for the conference. Conference is a one project. There are so many sectors, I told you. All of them are interdependent on each other. That means suppose somebody is looking after catering, then I should not give a thought for catering. If at all there is a problem, the person will come to me and we will solve and sit together. But we have to have proper interdependence. Like in the rabbit and tortoise you have seen, when they were interdependent, they achieved the goal flawlessly. So that art we need to learn. Our communication should be open. We should be open to every thought of team member. It's not that whatever I have thought as a team leader is final. We should be having flexible attitude. Whenever you are working in a team, there will be conflict. And that conflict has to be resolved in a very amicable situation, atmosphere. You can exchange thoughts. You can have good communication. And through those communication, whatever conflicts are coming in, you should have a creative approach. What our former Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji used to say, we should have creative opposition. Sometimes when you are talking together, you are having conflict, you may do something very new, very good, out of box thinking that you should learn to understand when you are working in a team. Then there are two terms, the effective and efficient. What do you mean by that? Suppose I need to go to a distance of 20 kilometers by my motor or by my car. I reach that place in 30 minutes. Some other person, if that fellow goes by car, some another car in 20 minutes, what has happened between two? One person has taken more time and one person has taken less time, and that too with less consumption of petrol. Who is more effective? Both are effective. Both have done their job. But who is more efficient? The person who has reached before with less consumption of petrol. So that means when we are working in a team, we should be effective as well as we should be efficient. We should perform our work in such a manner that, of course, we are going to achieve the goal in a timely manner, But if we are working coherently, then we will achieve it fast also. Whenever you are working in a team, there is a group dynamics or a team dynamics. I will just give one example like a cricket team. Suppose you want to win a match, there is an India-England match, and India wants to win over England. So first stage will be forming, that the team will be formed. Now while forming, you have to be very selective. You cannot select all the persons who are batsmen, you cannot select all the persons who are bowler, you cannot select all the persons who are wicket keeper or who are fielder. You have to choose batsman also, bowler also, the spinner, the pacer, the wicket keeper, the person who can take catch properly, all these things. So whenever you are forming your team, you need to understand the skills required in that project, and accordingly you have to choose the persons. That is very important. Once you have formed, that is the stage of forming, then they will sit together and will discuss how they can win over England. They will have brainstorming. They will have some different ideas. The persons, all the persons will not say the same thing. Someone will be of different opinion, someone will be of different opinion. We should not fight. We will be having conflict, but that conflict has to be resolved to the stage of norming. So, forming, then you have done brainstorming, then you have reached to a common minimum program that yes, this is the strategy what we need to apply if we wish to win the match, and that is what is norming. Once you have formed a strategy, then you go on the field and perform. That is what is performing. This example is applicable to all fields, whether you are working in a project, whether you are organizing a function, whether you are organizing a conference, whether you are working for your goal of life. It's not that all benefit goes to team leader or team members or a project, but individually also you are benefited if you develop team work skills. How I can tell you? It enhances your individual learning. Suppose you are working in a project with different persons. So initially you are not aware of quality of each and every person. When you work together, then the other persons, all the persons are unique. Other persons may be having some unique quality which you are not having. You can imbibe those qualities from him. Someone may be good orator, someone may be a good writer, someone may be good communicator, someone be having a good handwriting, someone may be good organizer. See, so all these things basically you will observe and learn, and they are going to benefit you personally also. Then you also learn solving a problem. What should be a problem solving approach? For example, suppose you are going to organize a function, say after 5 days, and suddenly the weather changes, the rainy season or the rains are about to come. What you will do? One will say, okay, we will postpone the date. One will say, let us change the venue. One will say, we should have a waterproof tent. One will say, like, we can just change the time. All the things will be there. Or we should abandon the function. Now you see, there are plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, all things you learn when you are working in a team, because all the ideas you are not having, somebody else is giving you some ideas. Then there is healthy competition. You develop a feeling of healthy competition. Of course, the competition is always there, but that competition should be healthy competition. Like again, I will give the example of conference. Any person who is involved in academic program, he will say, look here, my program will be best. The person who is organizing the cultural fest will say, "Oh, look here, my cultural festival will be the best one." The catering person will say, "My food will be such that everybody is going to praise it." See, all the things they are happening, they are doing. They are competing from each other in their field. And this virtue, this habit develops in ourselves when we are working with a team. So that is healthy competition. Then we develop relationship. Initially when we meet together, we may not be knowing the persons very closely. But suppose we are working together for a period, say, of 3 months, 6 months or so, and just we finish up that project. That match is over. That project is over. Now what? Even then we disperse our relations, they are maintained. After that, if we have got any problem, I can call that fellow, "Hello, we have met 1 year ago in such and such project. Now I have got this problem. Can you help me out?" Definitely the person will recall you and the person will help you. So that type of relationship which you develop during good healthy teamwork, they last very long. And then you are always motivated to do good in a coherent manner. When you are working in a teamwork, then sharing and caring habit automatically creeps into you. It is needless to say that whenever in a family somebody falls ill, immediately, suppose person has got high fever, what you do? You immediately give some medicine, start cold sponging, start giving the person a good atmosphere. Similarly, when you are working in a team, suppose I am working in an office and one of my colleague falls ill, what others will do? Others will immediately will take care. They will make him lie down, make him or her comfortable, give medicine, call doctor, take all the vitals, blood pressure and everything. So that habit automatically comes to us when we are working in a team. And this is very important nowadays, that you have to develop the habit of sharing and caring. You all must have seen in college days a tug of war. What you have seen? Who wins? Almost equal number of participants are on both the sides. Almost equal body build and equal strength they are having. Who wins? The team who pulls the rope together with synergy, that team wins. That means what? Once the team is formed, we should work in synergy. We should commonly step forward towards reaching goal. It's not that somebody is thinking on this side, somebody is thinking on this side. Nothing, no. All of you, all of team members should work in synergy to achieve that goal. You must have heard, or many of you must have gone through the story of geese. In Canada, geese, they live, and during winter season they march towards America because there the weather is warm. And when they go there, because the distance is too much, they go in a specialized V form. What is happening? What lessons we can learn from this geese story? And they fly for a very long time, for a very long distance. Number one, all of them know that they need to reach the same goal, and they fly in same direction. Once they are flying in same direction in this V form, then it has been proven scientifically, each one is giving 71% benefit to the fellow who is just behind that front geese. That means when we are working together, then we are helping together also, and we are going to achieve the goal by less tiring effort, and we are reaching to a greater distance. That is important. And moreover, suppose one of the geese goes away, immediately that geese feels resistance, the air resistance, and yes, then comes back to the team. So suppose we are working in a team and we think that a team is working because of me, that type of mentality comes into our mind, and I am away from the team, immediately I will be at loss. And moreover, you have seen that they are flying in a V pattern. What does it mean? We have to be disciplined. We have to follow certain norms. We cannot go bizarre here and there. So whenever you are working in team, you have to follow team rules, stay in formation, and then you should have interdependence. The goose who is flying in front gets tired after some time. Then that goose comes back, and then another goose goes in the forward position. That means the team leader changes his or her position. Otherwise, the person will get tired. If you want to move team forward, then you have to learn this skill, that it is not that all time you are leader. You have to change your role with other team members also. That means every team member can be a leader, and that is why I told in my previous talk that every one of us has got the leadership quality. Then while they are flying together, they are honking, they are making noise, they are making voice. What they are doing that? They are talking, they are communicating with each other. So that means when you are working with a team, whatever work you are doing, it should be very well communicated to other team members. It's not that the work has been allotted to you, are doing the work and you are not telling to each another member. So how they will come to know? That is important. And moreover, they are honking to encourage. There should be encouragement. Till you encourage your team members, your team is not going to move forward. One thing you need to understand. When they are flying together, then suppose one goose falls ill. That goose will drop down or come down on the floor, on the earth, and with that, two geese, they will also come down. They will stay together till that goose becomes alright or that goose dies. So this is important. Suppose anybody in our team member is in a problem. Problem may be domestic problem may be some official, problem may be some personal, some professional, some economical problem. We have to be very compassionate and we should support that team member so that that team member should be again in our team and should perform. It's not that all the time you will not have problem. There are many challenges when you are working in a team. If everybody is unique, then everybody is different also. And you have to work with different persons, with different personality, with different thinking. Naturally, there will be different type of persons also. Some persons, they will be shirking from their responsibility. When the work is being allotted, they will, the work which is more demanding, the person may not be able to accept. He will say, no, I will not be able to do, though the person has got the capability of doing, but maybe shirking. So that should not be done. Whenever you have decided to work in a team, you should not shirk or escape from any responsibility which is being given to you. Then while the decision is taking during the storming phase, you should not dominate. See, you are a listener, you can interact, you can communicate, you have to be humble. But you cannot dominate. No, my idea has to be followed. So that is a very bad habit and any team member should not do it, and that skill a person needs to learn. We should have proper trust. Suppose again I am giving the example of conference. A person has been given to take care of mic podium, or a person has been given to take care of catering or the musical night. That we should have a trust as a team member as well as a team leader that this job will be done by that fellow. And if he or she is not able, then the person will come to us honestly and tell the problem and we will solve as a team. It's not that suppose we have allotted a work and we are not having any trust whether the person will be able to do or not. Then what will happen? Unnecessarily you will be troubled and you will keep on unnecessarily bullying that person and the person will not be able to perform. Many other teaming skills which I discussed, one single person may not have. So person need to learn all these team skills so that they should be performing better. Conflict resolution, I told you, whenever you will be working, you will have conflict, and that conflict should immediately be resolved. It should not stay in your mind. You should not keep that conflict within you. Otherwise, what will happen? In due course of time, you will be away from the team, or the whole team will not progress the way it had to be. One is very important. You should not be a large team. Whenever you are making a team, it should be a small team. It has been proven that a small and trained team is more effective than a large and untrained team. Suppose there is an earthquake and you need to send, say, 100 persons or healthcare workers to support those earthquake victims. Then 100 persons should not form one team. It should be a team of, say, 20 team of 5 persons or 10 teams of 10 persons. Then the team will work better. So when you are performing a task or in a job or in anything, your selection of team should be such that there should be not too many members. And then there should be no nepotism or favoritism. That you have given the responsibility, say there is an office. In office, one job is very easy, and you know that your brother, you need to give comfort. Need to give comfort to your brother. You have allotted that job, the easy job, to your brother. Again, somebody you know of, you have allotted that job to a simple job to some other. No, it should not be done. Anywhere, in any of the office, in any of the organization, if you will do this nepotism or the favoritism, you will keep the persons who are not capable of doing the work, and you will keep them in your office. You will keep them in your project. Your project is going to fail. So that should not happen. It's not that the conflict all the time it is detrimental to teamwork. Many times it is beneficial. When you are having conflict and you resolve the conflict in a healthy atmosphere, you come out with something very new. You come out with a creativity, thinking out of box. So that type of thinking you need to develop. There is a book by William Covey, 7 Habits of Wonderful Persons or Highly Effective Persons. In that, one habit is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Whenever you are talking to your team member, you should understand his or her position or his or her verdict, what the other person is saying, why the person is having problem. Then you should dictate or should say your words. There are one couplet in Hindi, I'll mention कि कुछ तो मजबूरियाँ रही होंगी, यूं ही कोई बेवफा नहीं होता. Means, suppose anybody is going away from you, is not able to perform, then you find out there could be having some problem. The person may not be well, the person may not be having good atmosphere at home, the person may be having some problem with the equipment, that camera is not working, the laptop is not working, the person is economically having problems. See, you have to understand why that job is not being done. Then you will be able to perform better as a team leader. You should always have one sentence which should constantly hammer in your mind, that let it go. Many times it will happen that your team members may commit some mistake. You should not sit upon that mistake all the time and discuss that fellow. If that fellow rectifies that mistake, let it go. Why should remain into your mind? Again, if you are just holding that in your mind, what will happen? In due course of time, you will start misbehaving with that team member and you will lose that team member. And suppose that team member was having very good qualities, there is a loss to your team. Let it go. If person rectifies that mistake what he or she has done, you accept and let it go. I'll tell you a story of lion. The lion is in a jungle. the lion along with other lions or the animals used to go for hunting, kill animals for the food, and every member of that team, all the lions, they used to eat together. Lion thought, why should I do myself and distribute to others? They should do on their own. So he told, see, I kill the animals and now I should take the lion's share. First I will eat and then whatever remains you all will eat. It was not liked by the team member. Then all the other lions, they sat together, they decided, okay, but you are mighty, you go alone and then we will go together and we will do hunting on our own. Lion said, okay, otherwise also I am doing the same. Why should I do it for you? He went to kill buffaloes. Now this time the lion was alone. Buffalo saw that this lion will not be able to face us. All the buffaloes, they ran after lion and the lion has to save his life. Lion thought, okay, no problems, I will go and kill deers. He went behind deers. Up now deer runs very fast. In between the tree, a deer went and the lion could not even hunt deer also. Lion remained hungry. Then lion came to know I was wrong. Why? Because though the lion was killing those buffaloes, but because of the team, the buffaloes were not attacking on the lion. This dynamics he understood. He went again into the team and he again became happy. So that type, suppose if you are working in a team, this idea should not creep up in your mind that you are the alone person who are performer and rest all of them are useless for that work. That idea should not creep up in your mind. Everybody together has to move forward. Another example I will give you, a sewing machine. In sewing machine you see that there is a handle, there is a wheel, there are so many equipments, instruments, small. Then there is a lever, there is a needle, thread, oil. Everything is important. Suppose, and what is the outcome of that sewing machine? Is a stitched pant or a stitched cloth. So that stitched cloth is the project and this is being completed by this sewing machine having all the components. Suppose any part of this sewing machine is not working properly, what will happen? Will you be able to get the stitched cloth? Every part is working, the thread is not there, the needle is not there. Will you be able to complete the project? No. This is true for any project. This handle is your administration, the wheel, the other persons who are working with, all the components, small components, the needle, the smallest person working in your organization, thread, that is of course the economy portion. All things are important. You cannot say, see, you are needle, what you can do, you are very small. No, everyone is unique. And there is no better example than sewing machine for a project. If you want that you should come out with a positive outcome, you need to work in harmony as a sewing machine does. I am a surgeon. I operate in a team. I need one anesthetist. I need one person who is showing camera for laparoscopic surgery. I need sister, I need ward boy, I need trolley person, I need an electrician, I need a sweeper to keep the floor clean. I cannot say this fellow is a useless fellow or this fellow has got less value. Can I work without sister? Can I work without my assistant, the person who is showing camera? No. So everybody in the team has got unique character and they have got a unique responsibility. No one should think that he or she is supreme. You all must have seen Akbar the Great. Akbar the Great has got 10 courtiers with him, what we call as Akbar ke Navratna. All of them were unique, like Birbal was very witty, Tansen was a musician, Todermal was having a good financial knowledge. That means what? Why Akbar became great? Because he chose all those person in team member who are important to him. He knew that what function has to be taken or what work has to be taken from which person. You cannot take the work of hammer from screwdriver. For screw, you need to have a screwdriver. A plier has got its own work. So when you are forming a team, you need to recognize the skills of that person and the skills you need. And accordingly, you need to form your team without any favoritism or without any nepotism. My dear friends, in the end, I must say that these are the things when you get maximum out of your team. Just to whatever I have talked till now, I am summarizing all those thoughts for the sake of your easiness, that whenever you are working in a team, the atmosphere should be very conducive, very comfortable. You should talk properly, have proper communication. All of them should have clear goal, like in a conference this has to go on success. Absolutely, goal should be clear to everyone. They should be knowing their roles and responsibilities, and they should do it honestly. And whenever they feel any problem, they should communicate. There should be open communication. There should be no overstepping. Suppose I have given the catering business to a person, I should not unnecessarily poke my nose each and every time. Let the person do if he or she feels responsibility or difficulty, the person may approach us. We should be very open in our communication, suggestions, and we should be flexible in our approach. We should believe that everybody in team members is unique and it has got importance. We should not belittle any person who is working in a team for a so-called lower work or a smaller work. We have to recognize the skills of a person and the skills you need for that project to be done. So whenever you are choosing your team, it should be a very meticulous and every team member should be motivated. In the end, I must say, always whenever you perform, you have completed a project, you should call for honest feedback. See, nowadays in all the corporate, they just get a feedback form. So you should be honest to it. Suppose I am working, I am leading my team. After my job is completed or during also, I should have honest feedback. Honest feedback means whatever is real. It is not that goody you have told, no sir, you are doing very good job, I am very impressed. No, suppose I am wrong somewhere, I should get a good feedback. Then only I can improve upon. So that is very important, and the person should not be fearful whenever the feedback is being given. When you are creating a symphony, then you need so many persons on orchestra. Only one person cannot make a good symphony. So my dear friends, learn these team skills, do your project so that it should be a good symphony to hear with. Thank you very much. Next Saturday we will have some other topic for you. Your suggestions are always needed in my chat box. Whatever we can do for improvement or whatever topic you feel like, those are welcome. We'll meet again. Till then, Dr. Vinod Jain says Namaskar to you.